What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So the drama continues. No, not that much. Like I said, the downfall continues. Basically, if you think about how PlayStation was on top of the world as far as being video game company, synonymous video games, you think PlayStation, blah blah blah, just the way Nintendo used to be back in the NES days. That status has wavered a little bit. They've come down off of that mountain peak just a little bit at least. And an example of that is, and an example of the dire strait, the disastrous position that Sony is in right now, is that, I don't know what you call it, that fireside chat where it was Yoshino, I think, was there, and Herman Hulst and some lady. I don't even know who that lady was. I was like, who the heck, who that is? Some new lady. I don't know. That video, it was scripted and it was not live. There were no live questions. It was all like, I'm going to read the questions and then they're going to answer with their canned response, basically. It was a promotional thing, you know, to let people know what's going on with PlayStation, but it was a bunch of BS. That was the most corporal speak, bullshit words, sentences, paragraphs from Herman Hulst and Yoshino, whatever his name is. I was gonna say Hiroki Todoki, but it's the other dude. I have heard ever. I mean, I know Microsoft does it, but at least when they say it, there's a bit of sincerity in that because they are more transparent than Sony is. Sony's not transparent. Sony wants to portray themselves as the kings, the winners, or the victims, or whatever. They don't ever want to be on the wrong side of anything. So they create this narrative and this story that, oh, we're for the gamers, and we're looking into different diverse ways to appeal to the gamers. And it was just a whole bunch of BS. They were like, yeah, how are you gonna paraphrasing, of course, but the interviewer, how are you gonna guarantee, or how are you gonna prevent another Concord? Basically, was the question, right? He's like, oh well, we've looked at all our past, he didn't say mistakes, but basically, and we're learning. That's the one thing. Even when Microsoft said that, I'm like, learning. Okay, sure. I mean, you know, sometimes you do learn. And sometimes you're just chasing the money. Sony's chasing the money. Let's be real. PlayStation, they're chasing the money. And so that whole thing, and Herman even kind of said it, that they're looking at cross-generational. I mean, I mentioned this in the last video, I believe. So we're 5 years into this generation, right? And they're still cross-gen, basically. PlayStation 5 is still cross-gen. I think they're starting to be less than that, but it's still cross-gen. And so now they're saying, yeah. And so now they're talking about PlayStation 6 already. I was like, wait, the Pro is not even a year old. And they're talking about, you know how the Pro's a failure when they ain't even talking about that. They're talking about PlayStation 6, like, let's move on. This is a disaster. We ain't got no games. And it feels, here's how you know Sony's in trouble. They never do these things where they sit down and they talk about their plans and blah, 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 blah. They never do that. But, you know, this is what's happening right now. But anyway, I'll keep it real quick and sweet real quick. I appreciate you hanging out, showing me my let me know in the comments below what you think about Herman Hulst over there crying and stuff, what they're talking all the BS. It's just funny. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all next one.